In this video, we'll go over the gray water system in our 2019 four-wheel camper Hawk Shell. On the outside, you can see a direct discharge hose that we use when it's appropriate. And this side comes from our gray water container in the camper with a easy on-off valve. We recently camped with some four-wheel camper owners that had the full featured models, and I found out that their gray water systems exit about here on the side of their camper. They attach a hose and it goes down to a collapsible water jug about that size down on the ground. So they have to deploy that every time they camp, and they have to stow it when they're done and dump it or find a place for it. I think that our simple gray water system would be an improvement for them also, and I hope you can see why in the video. The key to avoiding gray water collection outside the camper is to utilize the space in the turnbuckle area outside the camper but inside the truck bed. In order to use this space, you need a flexible container. The sack we use for a water container in our gray water system. It's a 20-liter vinyl dry sack used for, like they use for river rafting. This is the inlet, is a bulkhead fitting. This is the outlet and another hole that we put in. And this silicone tubing runs out the bed of the truck with a little pinch valve that allows us to dump the gray water whenever we get to an appropriate location. And finally, there's an air vent in the top to allow air to come in when you're emptying the sack. Here you can see the air vent attached to the overhang. If the water level were to overflow, it would just dribble outside the truck. You can also see the cord used to attach the top of the bag and hold it upright. Finally, on the inside of the bag at the drain point, I used a little sprinkler head screen to make sure we don't plug up the outlet line. You can find the bulkhead fittings and tubing at Amazon using the names shown here. At some point, we might add some links below. The silicone tubing is very flexible and easy to snake through the camper, and it is also very durable. Under the sink, we'll use a garden hose two-way valve to either discharge directly where it's appropriate or to go into the gray water bag. The gray water bag doesn't drain totally, so in the winter we remove it and we just put a half-gallon or gallon jug in the battery compartment. So this tubing to the bag goes directly into that, and we empty that by hand. And here are some things that just didn't work. This Reliance jug and its hard piping just didn't fit in the battery compartment very well and took up some valuable storage space inside the camper. This collapsible bag was a better idea, but it only lasted about a year and started to leak around the bulkhead fittings. So we replaced it with the dry sack, which seems to work fine. So that's our gray water system. Here's a fill test where I marked the 1 gallon and 2 gallon levels. It holds a little over 2 gallons, which is for us typically about 7 or 8 days capacity. We don't discharge in any kind of regular camp spot because there are slight odors in the toothpaste and coffee and maybe soap that can attract animals. So after leaving a camp, we usually just find a dirt or gravel pullout along the way and open the outside valve, usually only a quart or two at a time. We hope this has been helpful for you in thinking through your gray water system. Let us know if you have other ideas that we might be able to use. Next, we'll cover the 120 volt AC system. So please subscribe if you haven't, and thanks much.